Hi, good evening. This is Kenny Tan with Santa Mac Realty. Welcome to the Real Biz Academy's monthly market update. This is the Southern California Edison. Uh, let's see who's in town. We got Hua Lu, we got Brian Lin, we got Brandon Tran, Amy Zhang. I'm sure a lot more will be joining us, but let's get started. We got Lin. Okay. Now, my guest tonight is, as you know, Jean Riley from San Diego area. Jean has been with Centamac for 5 years now. Okay, and very
Mm-hmm.
pleased to have her with us all these years. Uh, and then we have Kevin McClenahan, also from the San Diego area, but I think he's closer to South County, out of El Cajon. All right, Jean, say hello to everyone.
Hi everyone, this is Jing. I'm so pleased to be able to chat about market update with you, and I'm looking forward to sharing some interesting data.
All right, Jean, thank you so much. Kevin, say hello to everyone.
Hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here, and I hope you gonna be informed and enjoy this little visit we're gonna have together.
All right, let me acknowledge a few people. Carrie Wang, Feng Jiao. I got Kathy Hu. I got Mello. All right, I'm sure there'll be a lot more joining us. And we got Hannah Zhou. All right, Jin, let's get started with you. Uh, all right, you want to say a few words before you go to the chart?
Sure. So today I'm going to start talking about from broad to narrowing down. So we're going to talk about United States, California in terms of the medium sales price and the volume since 1968 to 2020. And so my hope is by sharing this chart with you, you're going to be able to talk to your clients discussing how the housing's historical data look like and whether buying the home is a hedge for inflation. And then after that, I'm going to talk about some San Diego data because it is a San Diego market update. And so some key indicators like, how many homes it was on sale for sale, and then what's the median price. And then after that, I also have a very interesting chart to compare if you were to purchase a one bedroom, two bedroom, three bedrooms, and four bedroom in San Diego. When you have a 20% down, what is the average monthly mortgage payment? So with that information, you could also talk to your clients if they are sitting on the fence, whether they want to continue renting or whether they should jump in and buy a home. This will be a data for you to share. And then after that, I want to talk about the new communities we discussed before, three rule communities. This one has a very, very interesting development. And then we also have a video to share for that. And then lastly, I'm going to share a couple of my personal examples by bringing buyers to see different property, how to get their offer accepted, and then we are actually getting ready to close. So some personal experiences to share with you. And
All right.
so Kenny, we could go ahead and start with
Of
the
course, before
first
we go to the
page
chart,
of
let me
the chart.
acknowledge a few more people. Nick
Yeah,
Cheng, welcome,
sure.
and Christina, welcome. All right, let's go to the chart. All right, why don't you get started, Jean?
Okay. So this chart, sorry about the numbers are very, very small. I actually got this from the CAR website. You can actually get that directly from there as well. But what it shows on the left is sequentially from 1968 all the way to 2020. 2020 is on the next page, but what I could tell you is I can just mention the number to you. So in 1968, the median house price is $23,000. You can't even buy a car with $23,000 nowadays, right? But
Exactly.
so 50 years later, is it 50 years? Sorry, how many years? 53 years. 1968 to 2020, 53 years later, Last year, the median sales price in California is $659,000. So from $23,000 all the way to $659,000. That is 28 times. So basically, the median house price increased by 28 times within the past 53 years. And then you're going to say, well, the house price goes up and down. Right. But within the past 53 years, there are only 10 years with negative growth in the median house price. And 5 of them are actually between 1990 to 1996. So rest of them, even with the recessions, everybody remember, the housing crashings, that's 2006, 2008, 2009. That's actually only 2 years. And then it went up in 2010, and then came back down in 2011. However, it went back up again in 2012. So ever since 2012, the house price has always been going up. So this is what I say: whatever goes up will always comes down. I think this is, again, no one has crystal balls. I think my guess is we probably will not see a real crash. What I feel is the increase of the price, medium sales price, might be leveling off. So, for example, in 2020, the median house sales price increased by 11% over 2019. I think from 2020 to this year, 2021, I still feel there will be a significant increases. However, in 2022, I think there might be a slowing down. I don't think there will be a crash. I think that will be a slowing down. So if your client is asking you whether they should buy or not buy, or whether house is a good hedge for inflation or not, you can show them this chart because it shows you very clearly what the house price is. And then for the entire United States, the numbers are very similar. Um, and then another interesting thing is the annual sales activities. In 1971, there's only 216,000 houses for sale sold in California. But in 2020, there's 411,000. So that's quite a bit differences, almost twice. And the thing is, the numbers have been pretty steady, holding around 400,000 each year. Sometimes they drop down to three something, but most of the time they are about 400. So Kenny, if you could go down to the next page, actually two more
Okay,
page,
two more.
that would be great. It says monthly market report, San Diego County. Okay, so this is April 2021. We are in May, but we are talking about April data because May's data is not available yet. So in April, we have 2,324 houses sold, and that increased actually by 55%. And I believe the significant differences is because it was COVID last year. March last year was the month we start, shelter in place and things like that. So April has a very, very low sales value. And I can totally testify to that because my last year, April, I have zero closings. I have never ever had that. I had always had closing every single month. Um, I think ever since maybe the first, second years. So last year, April was the only month I didn't have any closings. And at that time, I already know the market's kind of doing weird stuff. But anyway, that's why you see there's a plus, increase of 55%. It's just because of the COVID. The existing single family sale price is 825. It increased by 20% since last year. So I stopped by a few of my clients who I helped them purchase home last year. right around COVID, and some of them maybe a few months after COVID started. Everybody told me exactly the same thing. Jean, I'm so glad you helped us buy this home. If we didn't buy, we will never be able to afford our own home now. So if they had bought last year, they are very happy because their equities has increased by, 23%. And I think that's pretty similar for everywhere in California, and then also in United States. Let's see, the median sales days on market is only 6 days. It is very, very low. The sales to list price is more than 100%. It's 101.7. What that meant by that is it, if you list for $100,000, it's going to get sold for $110,000. And
102,000.
102,000. Sorry,
Yes.
my number is not very good. But
Okay.
the thing is, those are all like the averages. Personally, a lot of my clients are looking to buy in good school district. Today, I just saw one house close in my in the communities I live. It was crazy. I think it was listed for no, it was listed for $1.2 million and it closed for $1.45 million, $250,000 over listing price. It is crazy. And then the number of active listing with reduced price is only 13.9%. So what you usually see right now is people actually increase the list price when before they get into escrow. I don't know if you ever noticed that or not. So let's say if the house is listed for $1 million and then they get 10 offers, so they have multiple offer right before the listing agent put that into pending statuses. I have noticed many agents actually artificially increase the listing price to something close to the number they accepted for the accepted offer. And so you actually see many listing got increase of the listing price, not a lot of reductions, less than 14%. So Kenny, if you could go to the next page, it
Of
says
course.
Buyer's Guide to San Diego County.
Yes.
So this one's really interesting. I also got this one from CAR's website, and the reason I want to mention this is, as our follow agents, you can actually get all those resources from the CAR's website. And this one, I personally think is very interesting to show. It's because if you have a client, it's trying to buy a one-bedroom condo. You usually don't have a one-bedroom home house. You have one-bedroom condo, so your sales price is 425,000. That number is actually very accurate. That's pretty much the numbers I'm working with when I show my buyer with one bedrooms. And then it break it down your monthly payment and then your down payment. So there are two scenarios. The first scenario on the top, it's with 20% down, and then the one on the bottom is only with 3% down. Um, Unfortunately, nowadays I don't see that many buyers with 3%. But if you happen to have someone with 3% down, that's a number you are working with. So let's look at the top number with 20% down. For the median price of $425,000, 20% down payment, that give you $85,000, and the 30 years loan of current market current rate interest rate is it's using 3.06% as calculation. Not only is less than $2,000. So essentially, when we rent out one-bedroom condos in for the property we manage, if they are in good area, they probably are more than $2,000 now. If they are in not uh like a normal area, not like good school district, they are less. So but basically this you can use this to kind of discuss with your buyers. They will break down by the monthly payments and the down payments. And so this has like couple more scenario. If you are buying two-bedroom home, the median price is 625, Your down payment is $125. Your monthly payment is $2,800. For most people, that's actually about the same as their rent payments. And then that's pretty much it for this page. You can continue looking for just, if you look down, there are different scenarios for different numbers of bedrooms for the home. So Kenny, if you go to the last page,
Yeah, last page.
the one says 3 roofs. So
Yes.
so what we're going to do here is we're going to actually play a videos. That is the video we filmed Kenny, Darby, our property manager, and then myself. We talk about sentiment, and then we also show the new home community called 3 Roots. That's in Sorrento Mesa. So Kenny, if you could go ahead and play that video, that would be great.
Yeah, before I do that, let me acknowledge a few people. We got
Sure,
Ariana, and then we have Ying Mei,
I'll be back.
Alec, Kevin, and Lisa. Everybody is welcome. Thank you for showing up. Let me go ahead and go to share screen so we can go ahead and play that video. So this is the video that Jean was talking about. I'm gonna play it with the audio on.
Yeah, and this is from my channel. So Jean Riley here. Today I'm so excited. I want to show you a brand new community in Sorrento Mesa. That is going to be the hottest new area for San Diego. Before I do that though, I'm going to stop by our office, which is literally like 2 miles away from the new home site. And I want to talk to our broker, Kenny, and also our property managers, Darby, to talk to them, see what makes Sentiment different than rest of the real estate company in San Diego. So Kenny, tell us a little bit about Sentiment.
Sentiment is a company that I formed in 2005. And the reason I formed that company is so that I can change career. I used to be a real estate lawyer. Now I'm a real estate broker. So I formed that company, and the philosophy is that I would have multiple offices throughout California. Currently we have 5 locations in California. We got Sacramento, Fremont, San Diego, Irvine, and Diamond Bar, which is the headquarters.
So Darby, I know you forever. So, so what do you love about working for Sentiment Property Management?
Well, currently it's quite a challenging job. We're still dealing with this pandemic, and there's a lot of challenges for both tenants and landlords, and I enjoy really helping people, both tenants and landlords, rent their properties and do it properly and according to the law, and it's a pleasure to see people be able to rent houses in these challenging times.
So Kenny, what do you think about what's going to change for the real estate agents as the pandemic, perhaps wrapping up?
Real estate actually can be conducted virtually. I think for real estate agents, they have to get used to doing business virtually, including brokers. So we are switching from the traditional way of being a brokerage company into a virtual brokerage now. So I think that's the trend for the future.
Darby, what do you think about some of the things impact you for the pandemic?
Well, there are certain restrictions on showing houses, and there are eviction moratorium that fortunately hasn't affected us too much, but we've been able to work around these things, and it's pretty much business as usual, but there have been some changes that make things a little bit more challenging, and we're successfully working through those.
Yeah. Today we're going to visit a new communities. And I think that's one thing I see more and more agents kind of get their hands on the new community. Is that kind of what you're seeing, Kenny?
Absolutely, because I think buyers are having a hard time buying existing homes. So they are turning their attention to new homes now. Now, even though for new homes, there is a waiting period, but eventually you're going to have your turn. Whereas when you are going out there to look for existing home to buy, with so much competition out there, you don't really know when your turn is going to come. 13 minutes drive, we're here. How is it for an incredible location? It's called Tree Roots.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Kenny, this is one of the best locations. We are south of Mesa, north of Mayoma, and east of Camino Santa Fe. Literally, we are like the hub of the research and innovation development, hub next to UCSD. Very exciting because there are three major builders that were built here, including Lennar, Cajon, and California West. It's definitely one of the hottest area to buy.
What will be the price range for homes that are for sale once they are built?
Well, they have houses for every budget. It's considered relatively affordable, starting from $600 all the way to more than $1 million. But you have something, smaller, like, 1,300 square feet, all the way to 3,500 square feet.
All right, now what amenities are available in the community?
The amazing things about this development is they designate 60% of space to preservations and open space. They're also going to preserve the Carroll Canyon Creek. You can literally live, play, and work here.
Jean, you got me real excited about seeing homes. So when can I see the first model homes?
Probably summer, and then they're going to have probably the first moving for this year. So Kenny, this is like one of the best hidden secret of San Diego. So don't tell anyone. We have tons of buyers, want to live here. So yeah, make this your next home.
All right, Jean, tell us a little bit more about Tree Roots. Hold on, let me see if I
So
can bring
Three
you
Rule
back
is
here. Back,
okay.
hold on. I need to go back here. All right, Jean, tell us a little bit more about Tree Roots.
Sure. So Three Rule is one of the newest community in San Diego, and this site used to be mining site, and the master plan was developed about 20 years ago, and then it was approved for 1,800 homes in the site. There's more than 400 acres, and then everybody's really excited about it. Like I say in the videos, I have a lot of buyers who are looking forward to purchase in this community. So I've been telling my buyer to go ahead and get on their priority list. And the crazy things about it, this actually was on the news. So let me read you the headlines. It says, new home constructions in Mesa spark massive interest. More than 14,000 people have expressed interest in the first 200 homes of the 1,800 units of Three Roof developments. So 14,000 people are on the priority list now for only 1,800 homes. Actually, it's less than 1,800 homes. I think there are some low-income housing apartments will be built in the community. So I believe it's only like maybe 1,200 homes you can buy. And this is really crazy. I have some buyer told me, Jing, it's not even making sense for us to get on the priority list. And I told them, I said, well, you just never know. Maybe they will have a lottery system since there are so many people want to buy. And what I found is most of people who get on the priority list are living within about 6 miles radius of Three Roof communities. And why this is so popular before even it was built? See, because Kenny, when you and I would stop by, it was just dirt. There was nothing there being built yet. It's just because it's in a very good location with the proximity to UCSD, the UC system, and then near Sorrento Valley, near Qualcomm, and then there's also life science, in La Jolla, UTC. And then there's also a new trolley stations, being built in UTC as well. And so it's just it's the proximity to everywhere. It's probably one of the biggest reason people want to buy there, and also the amenity, because they're going to designate a lot of space, for open space, and so you can hike, bike, and then in the community, and then they will also have electrical car charging stations tons of different things to do. So personally, I'm very excited to see this new community because I used to live in Maya Mesa when I was going to graduate school. So that's kind of close to home. And I am in Rancho Penasquito now, not too far from Maya Mesa either. And also, lastly, you know, it's also close to our office. So I'm very excited to see, what this new community is going to bring for the surroundings. So anyhow, that's about
All right, thank you, Jean.
anything, any.
Uh,
Mhm.
what we're going to do
Yeah.
now is that we're going to switch over to Kevin. But before I do that, let me acknowledge a few
Okay.
more people. We got Mariella. Well, welcome. Howard Xiao, welcome. Maria Slikova, welcome. And Amanda New, also welcome. All right, Jean, I'll have you back during the conclusion of the live stream. Let me go to Kevin right now. All right, Kevin, it's your turn, and you can go ahead and start.
Howdy, folks. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And I don't know about you guys, but every time Jean opens her mouth, I start writing as quickly as I possibly can because she's got so much great data. And, just talk about a work ethic. She rolls out early every morning and starts looking at what are the new listings. And she's really got her mind in the game all the time. So kudos to you, Jean Riley. Thank you very much. And so, folks, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Santee market, which is right next door to me. I'm in Fletcher Hills here, which is very close to Grossmont College and SDSU. Um, and but before I do that, I don't think that what Gene just highlighted cannot be understated. We've got our own small Silicon Valley, and it turns out that this new development, the Three Roots, is just adjacent to our little Silicon Valley, which has got high tech, biotechs, NASDAQ companies, Fortune 500 companies that are in the S&P as well. So, what a huge gain for the city of San Diego and San Diego County. We really need about 10,000 to 12,000 units per year. And last year, because of COVID, what did we get? We had about 8,000 units. So really, one development all by itself can kind of bridge that gap of that extra 2,000 units that we need right away. And I think they also brushed on, Gene had brushed on this, and so did Darby, that, hey, it's really essential to provide rental housing as well. So, if you're an investor in San Diego and you're looking to rent, then, those rents are fairly high because, the younger generation doesn't necessarily want to buy a house. They'd rather just rent. And so rents continue to go up and up and up because housing is really in high demand. And you folks in the Bay Area as well, I'm sure that you can attest to that as well. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening here in this Santee area. Kenny, do you have I've got a couple of just two graphics for you folks.
Yeah, of course,
And then,
the first one. All right.
yeah.
I think we just
So
lost
this,
Jean a little bit, but that's okay. She'll be back.
okay.
Go
Yeah,
ahead and
she
get
was having
started.
a little bit of internet
We'll have
difficulty
her
there.
back
So
later on, so
she
don't
may
worry
drop
about it.
in and drop out,
She'll
but
be back, yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. And in fact, that clip that we saw was from Gene Riley's YouTube channel. So if you folks do not have assets that live on YouTube, then both Kenny and I, and I'm sure Gene would attest to that, is that we really encourage you to get in front of the camera, even if it's just with your iPhone, right? And you're out on site, either doing an open house or you just got done doing your previews, right? So we go out and we look at our neighborhood so that we're experts in the neighborhood. And so Gene and I, we usually go out and look at 30 to 50 houses every week. During the lockdown, it's much more, video tours and virtual tours. But I encourage you to really be an expert in your area, in your community. So let's talk about Santee. It is one of the hottest markets, one of the hottest markets here in San Diego. And we're east of the office. We're east of Sorrento Mesa, but really only east about 8 miles. But so the homes are getting multiple offers, and the bids are above asking price. Okay, so you can expect to have contingencies waived, right? So what does that mean? That means that if the appraisals come in at 650,000 and you've got bids all the way up to 700,000, your buyer needs to be prepared for that, and they're going to have to sign that contingency waiver for the appraisal amount. Average homes sell for about 3% above listing price. So we're in escrow now. In fact, we close on Monday, right? So this coming Monday we close escrow on a home here in Santee. The asking price was $675. We had to bid all the way up to $700,000 to get the home. In fact, the final offer was that will match, the highest price and will be $1,000 above that price in order to get it. So hot homes can sell for as much as 6% over list price. We were in a bidding war for a condo, $550,000. The thing ended up selling for $625,000. So that's actually fairly normal. And in fact, the decision is made usually within days, if not a week after listing. So, despite the fact that we've got some homes where you've got price drops, and we'll talk about that here in a second, most of the homes are sold above list price. A full 69.7% of homes are selling above list price. So, 70%, 7 out of 10 are selling above list price. So you as the agent need to prepare your buyers for that. And I think that, future pacing, if you understand the language of future pacing, then you need to prepare your buyers for that eventuality. Okay, so sale to list price 103%. So it's year over year, it's an increase of close to 3%. Kenny, give me the next graphic if you would, please.
Of course.
Is the chart here. And, I don't know if you folks are chartists at all, but basically what's happening is that, really from the trough in 2019, we've seen just a steady rise month over month and a year over year, right? And so, what happens is I think that you've got to, again, preparing your buyers or preparing your sellers, for the eventualities. And that is that, hey, we might have gone up, 15% last year, and we might be on pace for 11% rise this year. All right. But hey, the music doesn't play forever, right? And if you're playing musical chairs, you don't want to be the person left standing at the end of the song. And so I think that it's important to, set those expectations for your clients. And, in our business, right, being a realtor, this is actually my father-in-law's realtor sign from 1954 to 1958.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Right. So sold by a realtor, So I have this proudly in my office, and so I think we need to, you folks as realtors, you need to look at where we've come from, 1913, and the continuity of care that we've had for our clients, and the high threshold of standard, right, that we as realtors, we've got the highest level of integrity, right, of sales representatives out there, or are as high as anyone else. The expectations are very high, and the code of conduct is very clear. And so if you folks have not gone back and reviewed that code of conduct, I think it's really important that you do that. You know, how do we interact with the community, with customers? How do we interact with our clients, all right, that we're under contract with? And how do we interact with other realtors? We saw last week Jean talk about how she reaches out immediately if there is a home that's coming soon that is within her buyer's needs, right? That they've expressed to Jean, hey Jean, we want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, we want to be in this location, we want to spend this amount of money. And so and myself, I do the same thing. We're constantly, scouring hey, what is coming soon, and reaching out to that realtor, either with a text or a phone call, preferably a phone call, right? But letting them know, I mean, I'll send something via HomeSnap, right? A message to them. I'll call the brokerage, right? Even if it's after hours, before, early in the morning when everybody else is prospecting, I'll call and leave a message there at the brokerage and let them know that I've got a buyer that's ready, willing, and able to take a look at that home and make an offer even before it goes listed. Okay, so before it goes live onto the market. So those are the things that I want you folks to be prepared for. Those are the things that we're prepared to do. And if you've got any questions at all, I mean, I always reach out to Kenny. If you text him, he's really good about getting back to you. If you need any internal resources, to, call the office or whatever. But we want you folks to feel like you're supported and that you have all the resources that you need to go out and do the prospecting, open houses, whatever it happens to be, because as this economy opens up, there's going to be opportunities that continue to happen. Even if the activity is leveling off now, it's summertime, right? So we might have a little bit of a dip in activity, but come fall, that activity is going to increase and ramp up as we get into the holidays. So, in terms of the Federal Reserve, despite the fact that we've got a $28 trillion in debt, the Federal Reserve is committed. They're ready, willing, and able, right, to provide liquidity to the market, right? Not just the equity markets, but the bond markets. And they're committed to stability, right? And as the economy opens up, to full employment. And so what does that mean? That leads to opportunities for us as realtors. Are there any questions in the audience at all?
So far,
Any
no.
questions folks
Everybody's
might
kind of
have?
sitting quiet, listening to you.
Okay, very
So
good, very
I
good.
I sense that this is the end of your presentation. So thank you very much. And now let's go back to
Very
the
nice.
original point where I can ask the expert a few questions. All right, we're back to the original scene. Okay, so as usual, traditionally we ask our experts to render expert opinions. And tonight's question is, for the next 6 months, what's the outlook for the real estate market as you see it in your area? Jean Riley, will start from you first.
Okay, so I think for the next 6 months, I see more and more house getting on the market. For example, myself, I already have 4 listings. I am not putting them on the market yet for different reasons. But my personal experiences when I show property with my buyer is um, once the house, I always tell everybody, like, once the house is sold, 2 months later, there will be another one in the community that's for sale. I see the timing get shortened up quite a bit now. For example, I show one of my buyers, his price point for the house he was looking at was about $1 million. I went to the community, showed the house with him, and then we realized there was actually another property on the market. I believe it was already in escrow, but it was one less bedroom, so that's why it didn't fit the criteria they were looking for. But anyway, so that was 2 houses on the market, right? And my buyer made the offer for that house. They didn't go all the way in because they felt the house needs some improvement. So we didn't get accepted. But literally a week later, another house across the street from that house went on the market. So it was just within a week. And then last week, I drove by that community, another house on the exact same street also went on the market. So I see that a lot now for because whenever my buyer make an offer, I always curious to know like if the offer didn't get accepted, I was curious to know what was the final, sold price, and then whether there will be another house similar to that where my buyer is, because they already wrote the offer, right? So that means they are interested in the house. So anyway, I do notice there are more and more houses on the market. This is just anecdotal information. So notice the first weekend of I went to show property with my buyers, and there were not people waiting outside for us. So I was thinking, that's interesting because in the past, there will be realtors and knocking on the door. Because whenever I show property, I always lock the door because I told my buyer, this is our time. I don't want anyone to come in. And if they wanted, they can ring doorbell. I will go open the door. But anyhow, they were not I didn't remember there were anyone waiting outside for us. So I was kind of getting a little concerned because my buyers always told me, gee, we don't want to overpay. We don't want to buy it when the house is going to crash. And
Hmm.
so I was pretty nervous. I kind of look up, there is on Facebook, I think there's a group called San Diego Rent. Anyway, someone else have the same feeling like me. They actually make a posting right around that time. And so there were a lot of people chiming, a lot of agents chiming. Some people say there was actually, I remember there was one agent, I don't know if it was a male or female, but let's say it's a she. She said she similar listings. They will list one with the same price point. A month before, there were a lot of offers. So she has 40 offers. A month later, she only had 20 offers. So 20 offers still a lot compared before pre-COVID. But I think this is kind of how there are still a lot of buyers fighting over the house. I mean, one of the houses in our communities, it closed, $250,000, $250,000 higher than the listing price. And they didn't list it low, Kenny. I mean, like it was already listed for $1.2 million. That's a number I can't even dream about it a year ago. But anyway, I do feel like the price is still going to go up, but maybe not so crazy. And there will still be multiple offer, but maybe not this many. And also, I notice buyers well, at least for my buyers, they are venturing out to some areas they don't necessarily it's not district because with the pandemic they start homeschooling their kids, so they don't need school district anymore. And that's one thing I never realized what COVID will do. I always thought about, okay, you can work from home, but you still need a school district, right? Because you want your kids to go to good school. I don't have that many buyer doing that, but I already have more buyer doing homeschool. So I think that's an interesting trend I see. And then for that buyer who homeschool, he is going to close. I think next week. Is it next week? Yeah, next week. Anyway, that one is very interesting. This is also another thing. We see a lot of houses got overbid. I think that percentage is going to decrease. For this buyer, this is very funny. It was listed for 999,000, and my buyer actually gained. My buyer overpaid, quote unquote, overpaid. So he went over by $13,000, and but he gained equity of $100,000. What
We
I
got
meant
a
by that is
question.
if he didn't increase his offer by, oh, okay, questions.
I can't really see the
Go to
question. Let's
questions.
see here. It says, can you guys see the question? Because I don't have the full question. So let me
Slowdown
read the
in the
full
near
question.
future
Hold on,
seems,
hold on. Do you think that the
uh,
market will eventually go down in the near future since the country is opening up? Also, is it true many people are moving out of California to other states? So I think those are the two questions. So I can't display the whole thing on the screen, but I
okay,
read it for you. Yeah. All right, Gene.
that's fine. I think, obviously, if I want to have my job, I'm going to say no. I still hope I can be, if everybody is moving out of California, I will be okay. So yes, there are people moving out of California, but there are also people moving into California. One of the buyers who is going to close, he actually moved from, I think, New Jersey. So that's from another state. So far, for all the sellers I have and buyers I have helped, I only have one client is moving out of state. And that was a client. I sold her condo. I bought her home. Then now I'm going to sell her condo. Actually, I already sold. It's already in escrow. I forgot. It was an off-market deal. I didn't even. And that's another thing for COVID. I have a listings. I don't even put it on the market anymore if I had buyers because buyers couldn't buy. They are fighting with everybody, and so with if I have a lot of inventories, I always ask the sellers, would you like me to get it sold before putting it on the market? And then so far, the answer is always yes. Because sometimes they want easy deal. They don't want to have people come into their home if they have little ones and things like that. So yeah, I guess the short answer to the question is yes, there are people in California, but there are also people moving into California. And then the price, um, here's things. I don't think it's going to go down based on the historical data. For the past 53 years, I'm going to summarize what I said earlier. For the past 53 years, we only have 10 years with decrease of a median sales price. And then of the 10 years, 5 of them were within one chunk. So the other 5, they were kind of scattered. And then 3 of them were the last recessions. So yes, maybe in the very unlikely event the price go down next year, but I'm going to bet it will come back up right away. And so I'm always very positive about real estate, and that's why I own real estate. I that's my retirement fund. I don't have 401ks. I'm counting on real estate doesn't go down.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
so much, Gene. Now your turn, Kevin. What do you think the real estate outlook is going to be like in the next 6 months in your area?
Yeah, I think we're still in the chasing mode, and especially in my area, the East County, but in San Diego, and in fact, when we talk to buyers, we usually say that real estate doubles approximately every 10 years. It might happen in 6 or 7 years. It might happen in 12 or 13 years. But most single family homes in desirable areas, and all of San Diego is desirable, are going to double about every 10 years. If you've got your money in equities, then it's going to triple every 10 years. And so that's what we've been taught. That's what I usually say and advise. And it's funny. My father-in-law, who bought at 12,000, one of his properties, just an example, one of his properties at $12,000 is worth well north of 1.2 million, and that purchase was in 1958, right? And so here we are, so we really kind of bank on that, and that's what we see in our own experience as well. So, The one thing that I wanted to mention to you folks before we get off the line is kind of a cautionary tale, and just know that the trades, all of the trades, are very busy right now, and the cost per square foot for construction is just going up and up and up. Lumber, board foot, all of those costs that go into construction. So we've got two issues here. And we like to, kind of give the Cadillac concierge service when we're talking with our sellers. And, we'll ask them, we'll take a tour through the home and, hey, it's a beautiful home. What are your issues with the home? What do you think needs to be changed or updated in order for your home to sell? And I don't think that we're not in the habit of giving a laundry list of things for the sellers to do. We usually take care of that. If there are any issues, like a double pane window has gone cloudy or something like that, we'll take care of that as the realtor, as the listing agent. So we're not in the habit of giving a long laundry list of things for the sellers to do to prepare the home. So just know that the trades are very busy, and you may pay a little bit more if you are providing that concierge service for your sellers. Okay. The other thing is, when you go to have a home inspection, once I know that I'm going to submit an offer, I immediately get on the line and I lock down a home inspection and a sewer inspection, because you can sort out plenty of trouble very quickly if you make those phone calls and you get those inspections done. And so just a little cautionary tale there. Try not to overpromise, because tradespeople are backed up and it may take a little while to get those construction issues taken care of. Gene, has that been your experience? I know you do a lot of, with the sellers. Hey, don't worry about that. We're going to take care of that for you. How have your construction people and your tradespeople
Yeah,
been?
yeah, for sure. I always like my property to be, nice. And because I work with a few contractors, always try to give them all my business. Those
Sure.
contractors typically try to treat me very well. So, for example, my inspectors, every time I contact him, he always make time for me. Even if he's out of San Diego, he will drive back for me. So I've been kind of rely on him for that. And then the same thing for painters. Like for example, one of my listing, I contact the painter early in May or the end of April, and he's like, "Oh, we are very busy, June 14th." I'm like, June 14th sounds like a century from now. But anyway, I said, please, please, please put me earlier. So he did. I actually finished painting in May 17th. So I think, if you do work, try to maintain long-term relationship with the trade people, like, Kevin. Those people are very busy, especially in the summer times. Everybody is busy. But if you have good relationship with those people, then they typically, you can pull the string on them and they can make it happen for you. And
Mm.
then I'm always nice to them. I might give them Christmas gift, or I might buy them small things
Yeah,
so
yeah.
alone to make. Yeah.
Take care of your tradespeople. Thank you, Gene. That's beautiful. I appreciate that.
All
Thank
right.
you, Kenny.
So uh, that's pretty much brings to the conclusion of tonight's live stream. We got things done efficiently. Even though we got a lot to cover, we did it in less than an hour. So that's wonderful. So as we become more and more experienced, you're gonna see our efficiency goes up by a mile. So I think I'm very happy to have Gene, and I'm happy to have Kevin with us. And of course, I'm happy to see so many of you in the chat room. This is really, really nice to see. We're all here together to learn from each other. And Jean and Kevin has been selflessly sharing their valuable information, and they spend the time preparing for tonight's presentation. So I thank them a lot, and also thank you guys for showing up. Without the audience, There's no presentation, so that's really, really important. All right, guys, and in a couple more weeks, we will be going back to Northern California for their market update. All right, everybody have a wonderful weekend. All right,
Take care now. Good night.
good night.